Hi there, Simon here from Visual Culture. We're a video production company down here in Melbourne, and today I'm chatting to one of my mentors, Simon Banks, who I've been working with for the last, I guess, since 2011, 2012. And prior to that, I actually was lucky enough to work with him at Tallboy Communications in London as a freelancer. So it's great to have Simon chatting with me today. He's got some great insights and some really valuable advice for people. Obviously, there's been a huge shockwave through the world with the COVID-19 and in particular production companies are being felt the full effects of an economic downturn and a lot of loss of work almost immediately. So I thought it'd be good to chat to Simon today and just get some advice. Simon, how are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. We're having beautiful weather here in London. It's just turning into spring, which is nice. I guess if you're a little bit quieter, it's to enjoy the weather. But I guess that's one of the few positives I can take from the situation, considering also being a production company. I've also felt the full effect of what's going on in the current climate. Like most video production companies, we rely on going to locations to film. A lot of my work is done with events or going to large corporations to do training or interviewing the CEOs and things like that. And here in the UK and most of Europe, we can't do that. So we sort of had to look at how we can generate some other income.
I guess that's one thing about here in Melbourne and Australia. I guess we're not quite at full lockdown, but yeah, we're very close. We potentially could go out and film if we needed to, but again, we've had to change our product offering. For us, it's motion graphics and animation. What are some of the products and service offerings that you're speaking to your clients about and giving advice on?
So at the moment, I think as we can't go and film, it's got to be really about post-production. So fortunately, we have the technology where we can edit from home. I just got an iMac here. We've got this wonderful thing called the internet, so we can upload and download footage. And so a lot of that, I'm still doing some post-production work. So I still have some projects I'm still finishing off. But also, I think we're looking at clients still need to communicate with their audiences, right, with their customers and their teams and employees. So what they need to do is basically try and do some filming themselves or recording on Zoom meetings. So what I'm actually doing is I'm actually pretty much giving some advice, free advice to a lot of my clients or anybody who wants it really. They can hop on a Zoom call with me and I just talk through their current technical setup in terms of equipment may they have, and then go through what they're trying to achieve, what kind of messages they want to do, and just help them record that, do their setup, and then either suggest how they could edit themselves, or they can send the footage to someone like myself to edit and polish it for them. So that's what I'm doing, and there's a lot of interest in that, I think, and I've actually got won some work on the back of that. It's not huge, it's not quite the value that I'm used to in terms of what we do, but at the moment it's all about, I think it's about what you can give, what value you can add to your clients.
I guess where do you stand at the moment? There's a lot of, I guess people have got different points of view as far as going out and selling or promoting your services. Where do you stand with that? I know you're very big on you're offering help and advice where you can. As far as just telling people about your products or services, or just going, not pushy, but what do you think is the right tone, or do you have to essentially treat every person or every business differently when you're approaching them about your services and how you can offer the help?
I think, to really be brutally honest here, I think the world's in shock. I think it's been a tremendous shock to everybody, and it's been a tremendous shock to a lot of businesses, including our sector in video production. Has basically everything stopped from the small corporate videos right up to doing production for local soap operas, right up to soap episodes, right up to Hollywood films. So now is not the time, I don't need to go out to your clients and saying, hi, do you want a video? I don't think clients are thinking about video at the moment. All they're worried about is, I think, over the last couple of weeks, is basically how can they move their ops team to work remotely. And I think for a lot of large organisations, that's probably been a real technical headache. Two, a lot of them are scrambling just to try and shore up businesses because a lot of talking to a lot of my clients, they've got, and we're talking large corporates who have contracts in the worth of millions and millions. They've got their clients coming to them to say they want a payment holiday, they want to reduce their rates, just want to cancel. So they're just in like, how can we just make sure we got some business coming in? So they're not actually thinking about video at all. What they should be thinking about is communication. They need to still communicate. And I think a lot of businesses, I find, in a crisis situation that this is, and this is a big crisis globally, is that people tend to just don't communicate at all. Okay, so I think we've gone through the hump of everybody talking about COVID-19. I don't know, everyone's seen those emails with the subject COVID-19. I think a lot of us, we get this now. We understand the situation. I think we are starting to settle down into more of a routine. And I'm hoping over the next couple of weeks, people will start, once they've got used to working from home, once they've managed to shore up where they are from a business perspective, they will start to look out and go, okay, I need to look at how I can resume business to a certain degree. It's a game changer. Everything's going to change. There are very few businesses which I think are thriving at the moment. I think a lot of us just have to reduce what we're doing. However, we still need to communicate, and this is where we can add the value from video production companies. Like, how can we help our clients communicate, using the technology that we have, whether it's a smartphone, a web camera, Zoom, Skype, because we can do that. And I think a lot of people are obviously spending a lot of time on video meetings. I spend a lot of time on Zoom at the moment, and you look at people and you go, actually, I can just improve the way you look, because it's very important how you present yourself. Now, a lot of my clients, I'm suggesting they want to sell. I know businesses want to sell. We all have to sell. But at the moment, I think now is probably not a great time to sell. All you can do is say, how can I support you? And then eventually maybe you can start to talk about offering your services again. But I was talking to one client who basically says, I want to sell. And I'm thinking, maybe you need to change your message at the moment. Okay, you need to acknowledge what's going on. But hopefully, I think in the next couple of weeks, we probably need to move on from, because we all know what the situation is. How can we now get through this?
As far as talking about the production industry, you mentioned you're trying to give advice on how companies can and your clients can potentially produce their own content. And I know you've been very big, and before all of this happened, shifting towards being a video strategist over the last few years. And I guess part one of that question is how has your role changed, or as far as being that video strategist expert, and just how is that going to affect the production industry? Let's say if we look ahead 6 months or 12 months from now.
Well, I've always been, over the last couple of years, really trying to push as a video production company, we can no longer just make a video and hand it over to the client. Because most clients, in my experience, don't really understand video and how powerful they can actually use it. I mean, it's one of the reasons I wrote a book called How to Get Video Right, and I actually wrote it out of frustration because clients are spending a lot of money, we're talking tens of thousands of pounds, just not using the video at all, or just plonk it on YouTube. So I think as video production companies, we need to be much, much better with helping clients get a return of investment with the video, which generally means we have to have more of an understanding of what they're trying to achieve with the video and how they're marketing and distribution of the video. And I personally believe what I'm saying, this is my personal opinion, is that businesses will now see that actually, you can shoot on one of these iPhones or a smartphone and the quality is not too bad. I'll give an example at the moment. Jamie Oliver, the famous chef, he has a contract with Channel 4. He does a lot of cooking shows, and I think now every evening just before the news, he's creating a little 10-minute segment about, now you're in lockdown, is how you can create some nutritious meals with minimum ingredients. And guess what? He's shooting this on a couple of iPhones. And you and I, or production professionals, will probably look at that and go, yeah, I can tell it's probably an iPhone. But to the general public, a wider audience, I don't think they'll notice. In fact, you know what? It's pretty good. I think the quality is absolutely fine because Jamie's very engaging and the content is good. So my personal belief is that once this comes back and we're going straight into recession, if not a depression, and this is going to last a long time. It's not going to be over in 3 months. It's not going to be over in 6 months. I think a lot of businesses will be reluctant to spend a lot of money on creating a glossy video at the moment. So, in my clients, they tend to spend tens of thousands of pounds with my business. I think personally, I'm not sure if a lot of that work is going to come back, because you know what? You can film on these, and clients don't really care whether you're shooting on a Red or an FS7, okay? It's all about content. I do think there's a massive opportunity here. It's actually to help our clients create a strategy around video content, whether they create it themselves, whether they shoot it themselves or send it to a company to edit. And we all need more video content. And, it's just how, as a traditional video production company, how you're going to fit into this brave new world. And we're a very competitive market globally, and I just think a lot of us won't survive unless we can transition more into a strategy and possibly help our clients do the training side of it, rather than just expecting, oh yeah, I'll just go and make a film and do some editing and that's it.
Yeah, I guess as far as production and I guess the professional broadcast production teams, maybe there isn't going to be as much a need for those, but we still get clients that come to us more for developing that message, and that they don't quite understand how the elements that you need to put together a video. So sure, you could film it on an iPhone or a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, or use your own kit, but as far as putting together engaging content, and again, just adding those little extra bits like graphics or fancy music, or even just montages and things like that. Rather than just being content producers, we've really got to essentially become I guess full service. Just focus on the scripting and helping out clients there, helping them out with their messaging, and also the distribution methods as well. So I guess it's the getting the video reduced, but then somewhere like LinkedIn, is that a great platform for their particular video, or is it going to be better off on their website or on YouTube and things like that? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Just as far as not just focusing on having the latest gear and producing high quality content. Just how do we change our message to clients and offer that full service?
Well, I think now it's not about. I mean, I've sold most of my equipment anyway. I just shoot on DSLRs, or I just bring in the videographers when I need them, and I always have the discussion with when I outsource with directors and producers who want to shoot on a Red. I'm like, we don't need it. Because we don't need to shoot on that high end, because at the end of the day, let's face it, most of the videos that we do go on the internet and are going to be viewed on a smartphone. So it's not going to be, very few people can view anything in 4K. So what I'm trying to really encourage my clients is you've got to think of campaigns. It can't just be one-off video. You need to have more than generally 5 or 6 or 7 videos, and that's the sort of work that I do now. When a client comes to me and says, I want to do a promo video, I go, no you don't. You want to do a series of videos with various edits, because we're going to help you put them on Facebook. We can do some Facebook ads. You're going to do different edits for different platforms depending on what the client wants to achieve with the video. So I think those are the questions that I always ask is, what do you want to achieve from the video? Where are your audience? And it's rather than people say, oh, I want a 5-minute video, you go, not these days, it's got to be under 2 minutes generally, but you create more than one video. So that's where we need to help our clients, is really understand video is a very powerful marketing tool. Most of our clients don't understand video, okay, and to be honest with you, why should they understand video? This is our area of expertise. So I think in where we are at the moment, it's purely, what I'm trying to do is educate our clients in terms of how they should be creating consistent video content. And I think that's the key, as I always use in my marketing, is creating consistent video content rather than just invest in one-off pieces.
And I guess talking about production companies or producers, just sharing their expertise. As far as being front of mind for clients and for those clients to know where to go and get that advice, what would you offer there? For me personally, I'm finding LinkedIn and releasing videos every week or every fortnight has gained really good traction, not only with all types of industries, particularly the production industry. But I've also had old clients reaching out, and people learn. What do you say to those producers that are a bit hesitant to share their expertise and I guess just build their profile?
I think so. I use LinkedIn as well. I think from a B2B perspective, it's a very powerful platform to do. And what I find, what I'm posting is it's not so much generally about why you should use video all the time, or here's my latest show reel, or here's my latest work. I'm really focusing on the need to communicate and just using video as a tool, because that's what it is. Generally, I find my clients or business owners aren't sitting around going, oh yeah, I need to have a video. They're more likely to say, actually, I want to have more customers. I want more leads. And that's where we need to start thinking more as a business owner's point of view, is about video as a solution, not necessarily what should be the end result. I just ask my clients a lot more questions really about what they want to achieve from the video, and not get hooked up into the production of it, because that's where everyone dives into. Everyone thinks production, including clients, think it's really sexy in a way that you've got a crew and lights, and making a video is, it can be fun. It's different for a lot of clients. But for me, I'd much prefer to create a simple series of videos rather than something big and glossy, which ultimately no one might watch. It's really got to be, how does video help grow your client's business or achieve the goal that they need to execute on.
And I guess, I guess one part of being a producer as well is just, I guess you can be a bit more ambitious with ideas. And I know that the filming day is obviously big and fancy, and you might have multiple crew there, but again, it's just so much work to get it right before the cameras even start rolling, and just having those scripting right, having the messaging right, understanding the target audience, which that's why the clients come to us. So, just as far as, I know show reels are fantastic and showing off the high quality work, but just how do we get out and promote just the fact that we can help you get that messaging out, get that audience right, and get that return on investment at the end.
I believe it's about there's ways I would do it with LinkedIn. It's about posting content, looking for examples where video has been very successful in terms of getting return of investment. I personally believe that video doesn't get a particularly good rap in terms of return of investment. It's always seen as an expense for business, which why in situations like this it's the first thing that gets cut. Okay, a lot of marketing video gets cut because it's often seen as expensive. What I'm trying to do is with my clients is educate them that video doesn't necessarily need to be expensive. It's just, again, it's thinking about how you can be more creative in terms of using filming yourself, doing the DIY, using teams in-house. Because to me, it's not so much about how you make the video. It's more about why you need to make the video and how it's going to impact on your business and improve your business. Then we worry about that. So I have a client come to me recently. It's a lead. He needs to make a video. We can't go and film, so I said we need to do motion graphics. He said, "Oh, how much is it going to cost?" And I haven't given him a price, because I need to understand your business need first. Then I'll come up with a solution depending on your budget. And that's the approach that we take. It's not necessarily, oh yeah, we'll do a video for you for X number of hundreds or thousands of dollars. It's more about, okay, what do you want to achieve from the video? Yeah, and then we can work out what you should invest in it. That's the approach. So that's what we need to do, is educate our clients in terms of why why you should be using video, why you should video as a tool, not necessarily the means, but also about how you can effectively use video in terms of how you can distribute and market video, rather than just putting it on YouTube and expecting people to watch. There's that famous Kevin Costner line, is that you shall build it and they shall come. I have this philosophy that you should produce it, plonk it on YouTube, and they will watch. Well, realistically, that doesn't happen these days. You've got to have a campaign behind it, even if it's internal or even if it's small, it doesn't matter. You just need to work out how you can make sure your video is watched. And we have the technology now that you can see who watches it for how long, where they are, all that sort of stuff. And I just think a lot of businesses or a lot of production companies, we don't help our clients utilize the tech and the analytics that we can now get.
regarding, and this isn't just aimed at video producers, I guess it's aimed at anywhere. We're all in the same, many of us are working from home, or whether we're a business owner or whether we're part of a larger corporation. It's sort of giving us a time to sort of step back and look at our businesses, our roles, and we always talk about take the helicopter view of your business and just assessing what was right in the past, or what can we learn from. What advice would you give to people over the next few months? Because realistically, we are going to be working from home. We're going to be away from our colleagues and clients for a few months yet. Just I guess it's looking at that helicopter view of their business or their role or the department, and looking, and I'm going to talk about video. How can video potentially fill a void, whether it's the learning or the training or the promotion, the communications? So, what's your advice there?
I think I guess pivot is a word that people are using a lot. How do you pivot your business? Or some of us maybe have to look at a reset. For me, it's sort of, I was on the journey of education, and I've written a book. I've got online courses. I'm already doing online training and coaching. For me, it's just ramping that up now. I think from a lot of video production companies, it's a wake-up call for a lot of businesses, actually, those who are relying mainly on physically having to go and see clients and do our work. We have to work out, how can we do this remotely now? And if you can't go out and film, then how can you help clients film themselves? Okay, that's the first thing I would do, is reach out to my clients, work out, are they doing a lot of video meetings, for example? They might not actually be thinking about producing a video, though you and I know they should be. Now is the time that CEO should be on camera, by the way. I have to see a lot of emails from large organizations, which is just a lot of words. I personally want to see that CEO communicating that message. And I think maybe they are, but I think a lot of people are just panicking and just like, we just need to get this out. So I think a lot of it's probably is to just slow down a little bit, not to try not to panic, and just sort of, okay, we've got some time now. Hopefully you have time. Hopefully you've got enough money in the bank, enough profit to see you through for the next 3 to 6 months. I know there's lots of government incentives and initiatives to help businesses. Maybe you need to look at how you can tap into that. So at the moment, it's purely like, okay, how can I make sure that I'm going to be in business in 6 months' time? But also, how can I move away from just relying on what I used to do? How can I diversify my business? And that is what a lot of businesses, including video production companies, need to be looking at, is how can I diversify my business? And that's looking at how can I offer more online work. Maybe I should be looking at how can I help clients create consistent video content and put them more onto a subscription model, for example, so you're not just relying on the one-off projects. You really do need to sit back and go, right, what can I learn from this, and how can I make sure that I survive in the next 6, 12, 18 months by repositioning myself with new products and services.
I was just thinking back to the last big economic hit was back when I was working with you back in 2008, 2009, and I just keen to find out. For me, I was a freelancer. I was in a new city. I basically started over. But for you, you've been in business for a number of years there. Just what did you do back then and to get through that period, and what did you learn from that period that you're bringing into your business now to get through?
So then, 2008, I found I had offices, I had staff, and I was reliant on a number of key clients. And the first thing that actually went was video. So video production in those days, we didn't really have the iPhones and the technology we had now. So a lot of businesses still relied on production companies coming to film. I think we're still on tape in those days. I just found a lot of my work just disappeared overnight. A lot of clients just said, we're not spending money on video because we don't know what's going on. So what I did was I had to downsize, and I had to downsize pretty quick. Unfortunately, I had to let people go. I had to renegotiate my office. But I was fortunate. I was a small team. Okay, so I had enough money in the business to survive. Yeah, and I had enough clients that fortunately still need to do some internal communications and training. So basically, at that stage, my training went up, and the good thing about 2008, you could actually go to do training. So, my business partner at the time, she did a lot of media training and crisis training. So we sort of, fortunately, we sort of pivoted more into offering those services rather than video production services. Fortunately for me at the time, it came back. We had a dip. I downsized, made the team smaller, moved offices, protected my cash flow, offered more training, and we survived. We survived, and eventually the work did come back.
How important is it for you and I? I reached out to you when I started my business back here, when I moved back to Melbourne in 2010. It was probably a year or so later. Again, I really admired what you'd put together at Tallboy, and that's something that I wanted to emulate. And I know, in these days it's really difficult, but how important is it to have a mentor or just to go out and seek advice? And in particular, this period where we're all self-isolating, we're all in lockdown, and just how important is it to reach out just for your mindset, and just have advice on how to move forward or just run ideas by?
For a lot of us who run small businesses or small agencies, being a business owner is pretty lonely at times, and sometimes you have to make some pretty big decisions in terms of where am I going with the business. At the moment, now's not the time to probably look at growth or scale. It's pretty much like, how can I protect my business? How can I reduce my overheads? And I think you got to make big decisions. And my advice is, I wouldn't do them alone. Okay. As I said, I think being a business owner can be very lonely, because even if you have a team around you, no one, I find in the businesses that I've run a few in my time, you might have staff, or you might call them team, but they're never going to think the same as you, okay? They're never going to be that entrepreneur, they're never going to be the business owner. All they're interested in is turning up, getting paid, and doing the job, hopefully to the best of their ability. So my advice, particularly, and it's so vital in this terms of crisis like this is, when things are so uncertain, and business is going to change. I mean, it's not going to just go back. I don't believe it's going to go back to being normal, ever. It's just, everything is going to change. And my advice is, don't do this alone. Find a community, whether in your industry or, and reach out to them, or people, colleagues, other people who are business owners, other people who are like-minded. Ideally, people who are positive, by the way, and find that group where you can have that weekly, bi-weekly Zoom call. I mean, that's what I'm doing with my community. So yes, I make videos for businesses, but I've created a Facebook group for video professionals, because I know a lot of the people I give work to, and I've employed hundreds of freelancers. I've employed lots of people in my time, and I know what a difficult time they're going through, and most of them are just self-employed. They're just one-person businesses, and I know, don't do this by yourself, because if you're at home watching too much news or social media, you're going to get really depressed, and it's going to be bad. So join a community, join groups, call people up, and ideally is in a group where you can just share ideas. That's what we're doing in our group. We're just sharing some ideas, sharing some wins that we're getting, sharing some ideas of what kind of content we should put out there, ideas of what other kind of businesses and services that we can offer. We're talking about pricing, because it's a big debate at the moment whether you should do everything for free at the moment, or should you cut your price in half, or should you not? These are all things that, as a business owner and creators and freelancers, or any business, you've got to talk about. It's like, it's strange times we live in. I personally, I couldn't do this by myself. I've got a business coach as well, and I help you. So I'm over a number of years, and others like yourself who have run smaller agencies than I have in the past. It's like you just want someone to talk to, someone to say, what do you think of this idea, or what should I do here? It's so important to have that support. So yeah, I'd say times like this, definitely don't go it alone.
Absolutely, yeah. As you know, You've definitely helped me out of putting out a few spot fires, and any advice. Things change every week, but obviously this is a big one, and I think just it's been absolutely fantastic. You've started this group to support the wider video producer community, and look forward to seeing a lot more people join that group. But I just wanted to finish off and just ask: is there anything else you wanted to add that I might have missed out on?
From a business point of view, it's tough. Okay, so get support. I think take a deep breath and take a step back, and just look at how you can diversify your business, whatever products or services you can offer, which obviously probably need to be online at the moment, and think them through. Don't just sort of panic and just jump into say, right, I'm going to do this now. And I think at this time it's not about, I get so many emails from freelancers saying I'm available for work, or I can edit from home, and it's like, yeah, okay, I get that, but where's the value? I think the message needs to change. Apart from saying, here I am, pick me, I'm available for work, it's a bit more, how can I support the clients? And I think it's a bit more than just going to a client and say, how can I support you? I think maybe you need to give a bit more examples of how you can support them, because clients probably don't know how you can support them at the moment. My model at the moment is I'm offering 3 30-minute video strategy calls. And a lot of those people have actually taken them up, and I'm just happy to give my time. A lot of people pick my brain about technical stuff and what I should be doing, and a few of those I said, okay, I'm happy to do the 33 minutes, and if they want ongoing support, then that I charge for that. I'm not charging a lot at the moment because I want to support these businesses, but it's a way that I can generate some income, and I believe in my 34 years in the industry that I've got some value to give. So it's a combination of how you can give value and support your clients and other businesses out there, but also thinking about how can I diversify into helping them with other clients with maybe some online coaching or online training. And that's what I'm doing with my clients.
That's great. It's just having that community and being that support. Again, you've been fantastic support for me, and I'm sure so many other video producers out there will just need to get in touch and know that support's there. So again, Simon, thanks for that. It's been great chatting. So I've got so much valuable advice, and I'm sure the audience has as well. Thank you.
You're welcome.